The unlikely encounter. The swirling red dust of Proxima Centauri obscured Captain Zara Novak's view as she guided her small scout ship down to the planet's barren surface. Proximity alarms blared, warning of the treacherous rock formations jutting up through the haze. Zara's fingers danced across the controls, adjusting thrust and orientation with the precision of a concert pianist. "Easy, girl," she murmured to her ship. "Just a little further." With a bone-jarring thud, the landing struts made contact. Zara let out the breath she'd been holding as the engines wound down to silence. She'd made it. After nearly 2 years of solo flight, she was the first human to set foot on an exoplanet. Zara ran through her pre-excursion checklist methodically, her excitement mounting with each item ticked off. Suit integrity, check. Oxygen levels, optimal. Communications linked to Earth, active, though with a 4-year delay. This moment would be hers alone for a long time to come. As the airlock cycled open, Zara's heart raced. The thin Proxima Centauri atmosphere howled around her, carrying stinging particles of dust. Through her helmet's faceplate, she could see the rusty landscape stretch into a hazy horizon. Twin suns hung low in the alien sky, Proxima Centauri a dim red orb, Alpha Centauri A and B mere pinpricks of light. Zara took her first steps onto the rocky ground, her boot prints the first marks of humanity on this distant world. "One small step for a woman," she said, grinning at the cliché. "One giant leap for—" A piercing shriek cut through the wind, startling Zara mid-sentence. She whirled around, searching for the source. There, a flash of movement behind a nearby rock formation. Zara's hand went instinctively to the stunner at her hip. First contact protocols ran through her mind. Observe. Do not engage unless threatened. Document everything. Another cry, this one unmistakably one of distress. Zara's training warred with her conscience. She couldn't just stand by if someone, or something, was in trouble. Decision made, she moved cautiously toward the sound. As she rounded the rock formation, Zara stopped short, her jaw dropping in awe. Before her stood a being unlike anything she'd ever seen or imagined. Humanoid in form, but with skin that shimmered like mother of pearl. Long, graceful limbs. A mane of what looked like spun silver instead of hair. And eyes, 3 of them, that regarded Zara with a mixture of fear and desperate hope. The alien held 2 smaller creatures close to its chest. They resembled nothing so much as giant, iridescent moths. Their wings fluttered weakly as they let out pitiful mewing sounds. Zara stood frozen, her mind reeling. Alien life. Intelligent alien life. Here, on the very planet she'd come to study, it defied all probability. The alien took a hesitant step forward, then another. It spoke, the words unintelligible, but the tone unmistakable, a plea for help. Zara's training kicked in. She held up her hands in what she hoped was a universal gesture of peace. "It's okay," she said softly. "I won't hurt you. Can I help?" The alien's eyes widened. It chittered excitedly, gesturing to the creatures in its arms. As it moved, Zara noticed with alarm that the alien's skin looked dry and cracked. The moth-like beings were even worse off, their wings drooping listlessly. Water, Zara realized. They needed water desperately. She pointed to her ship, then mimed drinking. The alien nodded vigorously, hope dawning in its strange eyes. Zara led the way back to her scout ship, her mind racing. This changed everything. Her mission, her place in history, none of it mattered compared to saving these beings. As the airlock cycled open, she gestured for the alien to wait outside. She didn't know if the ship's atmosphere would be safe for them. Inside, Zara's hands shook as she filled several containers with water from the ship's reserves. Her 2-year supply would be severely depleted, but she pushed the thought aside. She could synthesize more from the planet's ice deposits. These beings needed it now. When she emerged from the ship, the alien was swaying on its feet, the moth creatures barely moving. Zara uncapped the first container and held it out. The alien sniffed it cautiously, Then its eyes widened in recognition. It drank deeply, rivulets of water running down its shimmering skin. The effect was immediate. Color returned to the alien's face, its movements becoming more fluid. It chittered gratefully, then turned its attention to the moths. With infinite gentleness, it tipped water into their small mouths. Zara watched in amazement as the creatures revived. Their wings began to glow with soft bioluminescence, and they fluttered up to perch on the alien's shoulders. The alien turned to Zara, its 3 eyes brimming with what could only be tears of gratitude. It reached out a slender hand, palm up. Zara removed her glove and placed her hand in the alien's. A jolt of electricity seemed to pass between them, not painful, but intense. Images flashed through Zara's mind. A ship crash, days of desperate wandering, hope fading as the suns beat down mercilessly. When the connection broke, Zara stumbled back, gasping. The alien steadied her with a touch that felt surprisingly warm through her suit. "You're welcome," Zara said, her voice rough with emotion. "I'm Zara. Can you understand me?" The alien tilted its head, considering. Then, to Zara's shock, it spoke. The words were halting and accented, but unmistakably English. "Zara. Lyria. Thank you. Save us." Zara's knees went weak. You can speak my language." "How?" Lyria tapped her head. "Mind touch. Learn fast. Not all words yet." It was incredible. In mere moments of contact, this being had absorbed enough of Zara's language to communicate. The scientific implications were staggering, but more pressing matters demanded attention. "Lyria," Zara said carefully, "where did you come from? Are there others like you here?" Sadness clouded Lyria's ethereal features. "No others. Ship crash, many days ago. Only us survive." She stroked the moths gently. "Vex and Zira, my pets, companions." Zara's heart ached for the alien, Lyria. Stranded alone on this harsh world, struggling to keep herself and her companions alive. "I'm so sorry," she said. "Is your ship nearby? Maybe I can help repair it." Lyria shook her head. "Too far, no power, no hope." An idea began to form in Zara's mind. It was risky, unprecedented, and it would mean abandoning her mission entirely. But she couldn't leave Lyria and her companions to die on this desolate planet. "Lyria," she said, her voice firm, "I have a ship. It's small, but it can carry all of us. If you want, I can take you home." Lyria's eyes widened, a play of emotions crossing her face. Hope, fear, longing. "Home," she whispered. "So far, many stars away." "We'll find it," Zara promised. "Together." For a long moment, Lyria was silent. Then she nodded, a smile transforming her alien features. "Together," she agreed. As they prepared for departure, Zara's mind whirled with the enormity of what she was undertaking. Her mission, her place in history, all of it paled in comparison to this. She was about to embark on a journey across the stars with an alien being, the first human to make contact with an extraterrestrial intelligence. Whatever lay ahead, Zara knew her life would never be the same. As she helped Lyria and her companions into the scout ship, a thrill of excitement coursed through her. This was more than first contact. This was the beginning of a grand adventure. The ship's engines hummed to life, drowning out the howling Proxima Centauri winds. As they lifted off, leaving the red planet behind, Zara glanced at Lyria. The alien's eyes were fixed on the stars visible through the cockpit window, wonder and determination shining in their depths. Zara smiled. Together, they would forge a path through the cosmos. Two beings from different worlds, united by an act of kindness and the promise of discovery. The journey home, wherever that might be, had begun. A desperate journey. The vastness of space stretched before them, an endless canvas of stars and swirling nebulae. Zara Novak sat at the controls of her scout ship, fingers dancing across holographic displays as she plotted their course. Beside her, Lyria watched with fascination, her iridescent skin reflecting the soft glow of the ship's interior lights. "Your technology," Lyria said, her English improving by the hour. "It's so different from ours. Beautiful in its way." Zara smiled, still marveling at how quickly the alien had picked up her language. "I'd love to learn more about your people's technology," she said. "Maybe we can exchange knowledge as we travel." Lyria nodded enthusiastically, her silver mane shimmering with the movement. "Yes, share wisdom, grow stronger together." In the back of the small ship, Vex and Zira, the moth-like companions, fluttered contentedly. They seemed to have adapted well to the artificial gravity and recycled air. Zara made a mental note to study their biology when she had a chance. The scientific discoveries on this journey would be unprecedented. As they settled into the rhythm of space travel, Zara found herself growing close to Lyria. They spent hours talking, sharing stories of their respective worlds. Lyria spoke of her home planet, Ethoria, a place of crystal spires and singing forests. Her people, the Aethorians, were a peaceful race devoted to art, science, and cosmic exploration. "But why were you near Proxima Centauri?" Zara asked one day as they shared a meal of synthesized protein cubes. "It's so far from your home." Lyria's 3 eyes clouded with sadness. "We were refugees," she said softly. "Our world, it's dying. A great sickness spreads through the crystal forests, withering everything it touches. Many of us set out to find new homes, new hope." Zara reached out, placing a comforting hand on Lyria's arm. The alien's skin felt warm and slightly textured, like sun-warmed silk. "I'm so sorry," she said. "Is there nothing that can be done?" Lyria's expression brightened slightly. "There is a legend among my people," she said, "of a great cosmic seed hidden away on a distant world. It's said to have the power to rejuvenate entire planets. My mission, before the crash, was to search for clues to its location." Zara's mind raced with the implications. A seed that could restore a dying world. The applications for terraforming alone would be revolutionary. "Then we have a new mission," she said firmly. "We'll find this cosmic seed and save your people." Lyria's eyes widened in surprise. "You would do this? For a people not your own?" "Of course," Zara replied without hesitation. "That's what it means to be human. We help where we can, especially those in need." Tears shimmered in Lyria's eyes, catching the starlight like liquid diamonds. "Thank you," she whispered. "You honor us with your kindness." As the days turned to weeks, their journey took them deeper into uncharted space. Zara's ship, designed for short-range exploration, was pushed to its limits. They stopped at uninhabited planets to gather resources and make repairs, Lyria's knowledge of alien ecosystems proving invaluable. During one such stop, on a frozen world of methane ice, they encountered their first major challenge. As Zara worked outside the ship, repairing a damaged thruster, a massive creature erupted from beneath the ice. It resembled nothing so much as a colossal, translucent worm, its innards glowing with bioluminescent organs. Zara scrambled for safety, but the creature's gelatinous body oozed forward with surprising speed. Just as its gaping maw was about to engulf her, a piercing whistle split the air. Lyria stood at the ship's airlock, Vex and Zira fluttering beside her. The moth creature's wings were vibrating at an impossible frequency, emitting a sound that made Zara's teeth ache. To her amazement, the ice worm recoiled, writhing in apparent discomfort. It retreated, burrowing back into the frozen surface with a plaintive keen. "How did you know to do that?" Zara asked, breathless, as she made it back to the safety of the ship. Lyria smiled, stroking Vex and Zira affectionately. "They are empaths," she explained. "They can sense the neural patterns of other creatures and disrupt them if necessary. It is how they protected themselves on our world." Zara shook her head in wonder. "I guess I'm not the only one full of surprises," she said with a grin. As they continued their journey, following fragments of ancient star charts and cryptic clues from Arthurian legends, Zara and Lyria's bond deepened. They worked seamlessly as a team, each complementing the other's strengths. Zara's human ingenuity and adaptability paired perfectly with Lyria's cosmic wisdom and innate connection to living things. But their quest was not without its perils. They narrowly escaped a collapsing neutron star, its gravitational pull nearly tearing their ship apart. They navigated through a field of quantum asteroids that seemed to exist in multiple places at once, defying the laws of physics as Zara understood them. Through it all, their determination never wavered. The fate of an entire world rested on their shoulders, and neither human nor Arthurian was willing to give up. It was during a particularly harrowing passage through a cosmic storm that their relationship shifted. Ion winds buffeted the ship, alarms blaring as systems overloaded. Zara fought with the controls, sweat beading on her brow as she struggled to keep them on course. Lyria placed her hands over Zara's, her touch electric even through the chaos. "Together," she said simply. And suddenly, Zara felt a presence in her mind, gentle but unmistakable. Lyria's consciousness merged with hers, and together they guided the ship with a precision that neither could have achieved alone. As they emerged from the storm, shaken but alive, Zara turned to Lyria in awe. "That was incredible," she breathed. "I've never experienced anything like it." Lyria's skin flushed with swirling patterns of bioluminescence, a reaction Zara had come to recognize as the Arthurian equivalent of a blush. "It is called the joining," Lyria explained softly. "Among my people it is a deeply intimate act, shared only with those we trust completely." The implications hung in the air between them, a new tension humming with possibility. Zara's heart raced as she realized the depth of her feelings for Lyria. This alien being, so different and yet so similar, had become more than a friend, more than a partner in their cosmic quest. "Lyria," Zara began, her voice husky with emotion. But before she could finish, a proximity alarm blared. On the view screen, a massive shape loomed out of the darkness, a ship easily 100 times the size of their small scout vessel. By the crystal forests, Lyria gasped, her eyes wide with recognition and fear. "It's them, the Void Reavers." Zara's blood ran cold. She'd heard whispers of the Void Reavers in the legends Lyria had shared. Cosmic pirates who preyed on vulnerable worlds, stripping them of resources and leaving devastation in their wake. "They're the ones who release the sickness on your world," Zara realized, pieces falling into place. Lyria nodded grimly. "And now they've found us. If they discover our mission..." The implications were clear. If the Void Reavers learned of the cosmic seed, they would stop at nothing to claim its power for themselves. As the massive ship's tractor beam locked onto them, pulling them inexorably towards its cavernous docking bay, Zara and Lyria exchanged a look of determination. Whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together. Human and Arthurian, united in their quest to save a dying world and perhaps, in the process, forge a bond that transcended the very stars themselves. The scout ship shuddered as it was drawn into the belly of the Void Reaver vessel. Zara's mind raced, formulating plans and discarding them just as quickly. They were outgunned and outnumbered, but she refused to give up hope. "Whatever happens," she said to Lyria, squeezing the alien's hand, "we're in this together." Lyria's 3 eyes shimmered with emotion. "Together," she agreed. "Always." As the docking bay doors closed behind them, sealing them within the Void Reaver ship, Zara and Lyria steeled themselves for the battle ahead. Their journey had led them to this moment, and the fate of worlds hung in the balance. With courage, ingenuity, and the strength of their bond, they would face whatever challenges the universe had in store. The quest for the cosmic seed was far from over. In fact, it was about to enter its most dangerous phase yet. Shadows of the Void. The cavernous docking bay of the Void Reaver ship swallowed Zara and Lyria's small scout vessel, plunging them into an eerie twilight. Zara's heart pounded as she peered through the view screen, taking in the alien architecture. Massive structures of dark metal and pulsing energy conduits stretched as far as the eye could see, all bathed in an ominous purple glow. Quantum lock engaged, Zara muttered, her fingers flying over the controls. They won't be able to scan our ship's interior or teleport aboard, but were still trapped like rats in a cage. Lyria's iridescent skin had taken on a muted, anxious tone. "The Void Reavers are not known for their mercy," she said softly. "We must be prepared for anything." As if on cue, a booming voice echoed through the docking bay, the alien language harsh and guttural. A moment later, it switched to English, the translation slightly stilted but understandable. "Unidentified vessel, you have been detained for trespassing in Void Reaver territory. Prepare to be boarded and processed." Zara and Lyria exchanged a determined look. "Time for Plan Omega," Zara said with a grim smile. Lyria nodded, her 3 eyes glinting with resolve. "May the cosmic winds be at our backs." They sprang into action, their movements fluid and synchronized after weeks of working together. Zara activated a series of hidden compartments in the ship's walls, revealing an arsenal of makeshift weapons and devices they'd cobbled together during their journey. Lyria gathered Vex and Zira, whispering soothing words to the agitated moth creatures. "Remember," Zara said as she strapped on a bandolier of plasma grenades, "we're not here to fight. We just need to find their navigation computer, download the star charts, and get the hell out of here." "Easier said than done," Lyria replied, a wry smile playing on her alien features. She hefted a device that looked like a cross between a rifle and a Tesla coil. "But I wouldn't want to attempt it with anyone else by my side." The tender moment was interrupted by a loud clang as docking clamps secured their ship. The sound of heavy footsteps approached, accompanied by the whine of energy weapons powering up. "Showtime," Zara muttered. As the airlock began to cycle open, Zara hit a button on her wrist computer. Instantly, the scout ship was plunged into darkness. A moment later, a blinding flash erupted from the airlock, accompanied by a deafening sonic pulse. Cries of confusion and pain echoed from outside as the Void Reaver boarding party was momentarily incapacitated. Zara and Lyria burst from the ship, Vex and Zira fluttering close behind. They emerged into chaos. Towering, armored figures stumbled about, their forearms flailing as they tried to regain their senses. Zara noted with grim satisfaction that her homemade flashbang had worked perfectly. "This way," Lyria hissed, her innate sense of direction guiding them through the labyrinthine corridors of the Void Reaver vessel. They moved swiftly and silently, years of experience, both human and Ethorian, allowing them to avoid detection. As they delved deeper into the ship, the true scale of the Void Reaver operation became apparent. Vast chambers housed stolen technology from 100 worlds. Holding cells contained captives of various alien species, their mournful cries echoing through the air. "We can't leave them," Zara said, her voice tight with emotion. Lyria's expression was pained. "I know, but we must complete our mission first. Once we have the star charts, we can alert the Galactic Concord. They will come to free these poor souls." Zara nodded reluctantly. The fate of Ethoria, and potentially countless other worlds, hung in the balance. They couldn't afford to be caught now. As they neared the ship's central hub, alarms began to blare. Their presence had been detected. "Intruder alert," a mechanized voice droned. "All units converge on Sector 7. "That's our cue to hurry," Zara said, breaking into a run. Lyria kept pace easily, her life form gliding alongside. They burst into a massive circular chamber, dominated by a holographic display of the galaxy. Streams of data flowed through the air, painting a picture of the Void Reaver's numerous operations and targets. "There," Lyria pointed to a crystalline structure pulsing with energy. "The navigation core. All their star charts will be stored there." As Zara moved to access the core, a deep, rumbling laugh filled the chamber. A section of the wall shimmered and disappeared, revealing a hidden alcove. From it emerged a being that could only be the Void Reaver captain. He was a monstrous sight, 4 times the size of a human, with mottled gray skin and 6 yellow eyes arranged in a circle around a lamprey-like mouth. Cybernetic implants covered much of his body, pulsing with the same sickly purple energy that permeated the ship. "Foolish creatures," the captain's voice boomed, translator implants rendering his words in English. "Did you really think you could infiltrate the flagship of the Void Reaver Armada undetected?" Zara raised her weapon, but faster than she could blink, energy tendrils shot from the captain's implants, wrapping around her and Lyria. They struggled, but the alien technology proved too strong. "I must admit, I'm impressed by your audacity," the captain continued, moving closer. His breath was hot and fetid. "It's been centuries since anyone dared to challenge us directly. I'll enjoy adding your species to our collection of conquered worlds." Lyria's eyes blazed with defiance. "You will never triumph," she spat. "The cosmic seed will restore what you have destroyed. Our worlds will flourish once more." The captain's eyes widened, then narrowed in cruel amusement. The cosmic seed. So the legends are true. How delightful. He turned to Zara. "And you, human, your kind is unknown to us. A primitive species from a backwater world, no doubt. Yet you've aligned yourself with this doomed quest. Why?" Zara met the captain's gaze unflinchingly. "Because it's the right thing to do. Because every sentient being deserves a chance to thrive, to explore, to love. Your kind brings only destruction and misery. We bring hope." The captain laughed, a sound like grinding metal. "Hope? There is no hope in this uncaring universe. Only power. And soon the power of the cosmic seed will be ours." As he gloated, Zara caught a flicker of movement from the corner of her eye. Vex and Zira, unnoticed in the confrontation, had positioned themselves near a bank of controls. Their wings began to vibrate, emitting a high-pitched whine that made Zara's teeth ache. Suddenly, the energy tendrils holding them flickered and died. The captain rolled in confusion and rage as his cybernetic implants sparked and sputtered. "Now," Zara yelled. She and Lyria sprang into action. Lyria's makeshift energy weapon discharged, sending arcs of crackling power through the air. The captain stumbled back, momentarily stunned. Zara dove for the navigation core, plugging in a data crystal to download the star charts. Come on," she muttered as a progress bar crawled across her wrist computer. The captain recovered quickly, lumbering towards them with murderous intent. Lyria stood her ground, unleashing blast after blast from her weapon. But the massive alien seemed to shrug off the hits, his cybernetic implants adapting to the energy signature. Just as the captain's massive hand was about to close around Lyria's throat, Zara's wrist computer chimed. "Download complete," she shouted. In one fluid motion, Lyria ducked under the captain's grasp and spun towards Zara. Their hands met, fingers intertwining. In that moment of contact, their minds joined once more. As one, they raised their free hands towards the captain. A surge of energy, born from the merger of human determination and a Thorian cosmic attunement, erupted from their palms. The captain was blown back, crashing into the holographic display in a shower of sparks. "Time to go," Zara said, her voice echoing strangely as their minds separated. They ran, Vex and Zira swooping ahead to scout the path. Alarms blared and energy weapons scorched the air around them, but nothing could stop their headlong flight to freedom. They reached the docking bay just as a squad of Void Reaver troops rounded the corner. Lyria raised her weapon, ready for a last stand, but Zara grabbed her arm. "Trust me," she said with a roguish grin. As the troops opened fire, Zara activated her wrist computer. The docking bay doors exploded outward, the vacuum of space howling into the chamber. Void Reavers and debris were sucked out into the cosmic void. Zara and Lyria clung to a support strut, the moth creatures clinging to their shoulders. With a Herculean effort, they pulled themselves hand over hand to their scout ship. Once inside, Zara's fingers flew over the controls. The ship's engines roared to life, fighting against the pull of the vacuum. For a heart-stopping moment, they teetered on the edge of the abyss. Then, with a final surge of power, they shot free of the Void Reaver vessel. Behind them, emergency force fields snapped into place, stemming the tide-escaping atmosphere. As they rocketed away from the massive ship, Lyria let out a whoop of triumph. "We did it. We actually did it." Zara laughed, the sound tinged with equal parts relief and exhilaration. Was there ever any doubt? Their eyes met, and in that moment, the full weight of their feelings for each other crashed over them like a tidal wave. Without a word, they came together in a kiss that transcended species, a union of souls that had found each other across the vast gulfs of space. When they finally parted, breathless and giddy, Zara rested her forehead against Lyria's. "So," she said softly, "where to next?" Lyria's 3 eyes sparkled with joy and determination. The star charts. They must contain a clue to the cosmic seed's location. "We're closer than ever to saving my world." Zara nodded, her expression growing serious. "And we've made some powerful enemies. The Void Reavers won't stop hunting us now." "Let them come," Lyria said fiercely. "Together, there's nothing we can't overcome." As their ship streaked into the cosmic night, leaving the Void Reaver vessel far behind, Zara felt a surge of hope. Whatever challenges lay ahead, whatever dangers they might face, she knew that with Lyria by her side, anything was possible. The quest for the cosmic seed continued, a journey that would take them to the very edges of the known universe and beyond. But for now, in this moment of hard-won victory and newfound love, Zara and Lyria allowed themselves to simply be. Two beings from different worlds, united by a common purpose and a bond that defied the very laws of nature. As they set course for the next stage of their adventure, the stars themselves seemed to shine a little brighter, as if in approval of this most unlikely and wonderful of unions. Echoes of eternity. The scout ship Starweaver drifted silently through the shimmering veils of the Whispering Nebula, its stealth systems engaged to avoid detection. Inside, Zara and Lyria pored over the star charts they'd stolen from the Void Reavers, searching for clues to the cosmic seed's location. "There," Lyria said suddenly, her iridescent finger tracing a pattern in the holographic display. "These coordinates. They match an ancient Ithorian prophecy about the seed's resting place." Zara leaned in, her eyes narrowing as she studied the region of space. "It's in unclaimed territory, beyond the edge of known space. No wonder it's remained hidden for so long." As they plotted a course, a proximity alarm blared. Zara's hands flew to the controls, bringing up the long-range sensors, her breath caught in her throat. "Multiple ships incoming," she reported grimly. "Void Reaver signatures. They found us." Lyria's expression hardened. "We can't let them follow us to the seed. We need a diversion." Zara nodded, a plan already forming. "I've got an idea, but it's risky. We'll need to split up." What followed was a daring game of cosmic cat and mouse. Zara piloted the Starweaver through the nebula's treacherous currents, using the swirling gases and debris to mask their signature. Meanwhile, Lyria took a small escape pod, carrying a decoy beacon that mimicked the energy signature of the star charts. As the Void Reavers closed in, Lyria launched away from the Starweaver, drawing the bulk of the pursuers after her. Zara watched with a mixture of pride and fear as the tiny pod disappeared into the nebulous depths, Vex and Zera's bioluminescent wings pulsing encouragingly beside her. "Be safe, my love," she whispered, before gunning the Starweaver's engines and blazing a trail towards the coordinates of the cosmic seed. The journey took them to the very edge of reality. They passed through regions of space where the laws of physics seemed to break down, where time flowed in strange eddies and currents. More than once, Zara found herself relying on Lyria's inherited cosmic wisdom, channeled through their psychic bond, to navigate the increasingly bizarre phenomena. Finally, after what felt like both an eternity and a mere heartbeat, they emerged into a pocket of calm space. Before them hung a planet unlike any Zara had ever seen. Its surface was a swirling maelstrom of energy, rivers of light coursing across continents of shadow. The Nexus, Zara breathed, recognizing it from Lyria's legends, the birthplace of stars. As they approached, the planet's gravity well seized them, pulling the Starwaver into a spiraling descent. Zara fought the controls, but it was like trying to steer a leaf in a hurricane. "Brace for impact," she yelled as the ship plummeted towards the surging surface. The crash was both more and less violent than Zara expected. There was a moment of sickening disorientation as reality seemed to twist around them. Then suddenly they were still. Zara blinked, her mind struggling to process what she was seeing. They stood, no longer in the ship, but somehow outside it, on a vast plain of shifting light. The Starwaver lay nearby, surprisingly intact, as if it had been gently set down rather than crashed. "Where are we?" she asked, her voice sounding strange and echoing in the impossible atmosphere. Lyria's eyes were wide with wonder. "The heart of creation," she whispered, "the place where all things begin and end." As they took their first tentative steps across the luminous landscape, Zara felt a presence brush against her mind. It was vast, ancient, and utterly alien, yet somehow it felt familiar, like a long-forgotten dream. "Welcome, seekers," a voice echoed in their heads. It was neither male nor female, neither young nor old. It simply was. "You have come far in your quest for the cosmic seed." Before them, the shifting energies coalesced into a humanoid figure of pure light. It towered over them, its features constantly shifting and reforming. "I am the gardener," the being said, "caretaker of the seed and guardian of universal balance." Lyria stepped forward, her voice quavering with emotion. "Great gardener, we come seeking your aid. Our world, Ethoria, is dying. We need the cosmic seed to restore it." The gardener's form rippled as if in thought. "The seed is not a tool to be used lightly," it said. "Its power can create or destroy on a cosmic scale. Are you prepared for the responsibility it brings?" Zara joined Lyria, taking her hand. "We've seen the destruction the Void Reavers can cause," she said firmly. "We can't let that happen to more worlds. With the seed, we can restore balance to the galaxy." The gardener studied them for a long moment. "Your hearts are true," it said finally. "But the path ahead is fraught with peril. The seed's power attracts those who would misuse it. Are you willing to become its protectors, to safeguard it for all eternity if necessary?" Zara and Lyria exchanged a look, volumes passing between them in that silent moment. Then, as one, they turned back to the gardener and nodded. "We are," they said in unison. The gardener's form blazed brighter. "Then let the trial begin." Suddenly, the world around them shifted. Zara found herself alone in a void, surrounded by swirling mists. From the depths of the fog emerged familiar faces, her parents, friends, mentors from Earth. They pleaded with her to return home, to abandon her foolish quest and live a normal life. Zara felt her resolve waver. The longing for home, for the simplicity of her old life, tugged at her heart. But then she thought of Lyria, of the worlds that needed their help. With a pang of regret, but unwavering determination, she turned away from the illusions. Meanwhile, Lyria faced her own test. She stood before a restored Ethoria, more beautiful and vibrant than ever. Her people welcomed her as a savior, offering her the crown and the adulation of the masses. All she had to do was keep the cosmic seed for herself to ensure Ethoria's eternal prosperity. For a moment, Lyria was tempted, but then she remembered Zara's words about hope and the right of all beings to thrive. With a heavy heart but a clear conscience, she rejected the vision. As suddenly as it had begun, the trial ended. Zara and Lyria found themselves back on the plane of light, the gardener looming before them. "You have proven yourselves worthy," it said, its voice tinged with what might have been approval. "The cosmic seed is yours to protect and nurture." A sphere of swirling energy materialized between them. Within it, a tiny seapod pulsed with unimaginable power. As Zara and Lyria reached out to accept their destiny, a cold laugh echoed across the plain. The air shimmered, and suddenly they were surrounded by void reavers, led by the captain they had faced before. "How kind of you to lead us straight to our prize," the captain sneered, his cybernetic implants pulsing with dark energy. The gardener's form flickered, its voice urgent. "The balance is threatened. Protectors, you must not let the seed fall into darkness." What followed was a battle unlike any in the history of the universe. Zara and Lyria, empowered by their bond and the latent energy of the Nexus, fought with a fury that surprised even themselves. Vex and Zira swooped and dove, their empathic abilities sowing confusion among the Void Reavers. The captain, consumed by his lust for power, reached for the cosmic seed. As his fingers brushed its surface, a surge of energy erupted, engulfing him in searing light. He screamed, his form twisting and warping as the power he sought to control overwhelmed him. In that moment of chaos, Zara saw their chance. She grabbed the seed with one hand and Lyria with the other. "Now," she yelled. Lyria understood instantly. Together, they focused their minds, channeling the seed's power through their joined hands. A wave of pure creation energy burst forth, washing over friend and foe alike. The Void Reavers howled as the energy touched them, their corrupted forms unable to withstand its purifying force. One by one, they dissolved into motes of light, their essences returned to the cosmic cycle of rebirth. As the light faded, Zara and Lyria found themselves alone once more, the cosmic seed pulsing gently between them. The gardener's form shimmered into view, radiating approval. "You have done well, protectors," it said. "The seed is safe, and balance has been restored, but your journey is far from over." Zara and Lyria looked at each other, exhausted but exhilarated. "What now?" Zara asked. The gardener's form began to fade. "Now you plant the seeds of a new future. For Athoria, for Earth, and for all the worlds that cry out for healing. The power is yours to wield, wisely and with compassion." As the being disappeared entirely, Zara and Lyria stood hand in hand, the cosmic seed cradled between them. They had started this journey as strangers from different worlds. Now, they were something more, partners, lovers, and guardians of a power beyond imagination. "Ready for our next adventure?" Lyria asked, her 3 eyes sparkling with a mixture of excitement and love. Zara grinned, pulling her close for a kiss that sent shivers of energy cascading through them both. "With you, always." As they made their way back to the Star River, the cosmic seed pulsing with promise between them, both knew that this was just the beginning. There were worlds to heal, civilizations to uplift, and a galaxy full of wonders to explore. Together, the human and the Athorian set off into the cosmic night, their love a beacon of hope for all who looked to the stars and dreamed of a brighter tomorrow. Rebirth of worlds. The Star River emerged from hyperspace in a blaze of quantum particles, its hull gleaming with the residual energy of faster-than-light travel. Zara and Lyria stood at the viewscreen, their hands intertwined, as the familiar blue-green orb of Athoria came into view. But the planet before them was a far cry from the dying world Lyria had left behind. The sickness that had ravaged the crystal forests was gone, replaced by a vibrant tapestry of colors that swirled across the surface like a living painting. "It's beautiful," Lyria whispered, tears shimmering in her 3 eyes. "The cosmic seed's power is even greater than we imagined." Zara squeezed her hand, her own eyes wide with wonder. "And this is just the beginning. Think of all the worlds we can help, all the civilizations we can save." As they entered Athoria's atmosphere, they were greeted by a sight that took their breath away. The crystal spires of the capital city gleamed in the sunlight, their facets refracting light in impossible patterns. But more incredible were the new growths emerging from the rejuvenated planet, massive floating islands of crystalline vegetation, tethered to the ground by bridges of pure energy. They landed in a grand plaza, where a crowd of Athorians had gathered to welcome their lost princess and her human companion. The air was filled with melodic cheers and the fluttering of wings as creatures similar to Vex and Zira danced through the sky. As Zara and Lyria disembarked, a hush fell over the crowd. An elderly Ithorian, his silver skin etched with intricate patterns of wisdom, stepped forward. "Princess Lyria," he said, his voice carrying the weight of authority. "You have returned to us in our darkest hour, bearing the salvation of our people. We owe you and your human companion a debt that can never be repaid." Lyria bowed her head respectfully. "High Elder, I bring more than just salvation. I bring a vision for a new Ethoria, one that will take its place among the stars as a beacon of hope and healing." She turned to Zara, who stepped forward with a cosmic seed cradled in her hands. The crowd gasped as they beheld the source of their world's rebirth. "This power doesn't belong to any one world or species," Zara announced, her voice ringing out across the plaza. "It's a gift to be shared, to heal the wounds inflicted by those who seek only to destroy." The High Elder's eyes widened as he grasped the implications. "You propose an alliance? To use this power for the benefit of all?" Lyria nodded, her expression resolute. "More than an alliance. A new galactic order, with Ethoria at its heart. We will be the caretakers of life itself, nurturing worlds back from the brink of destruction." The plaza erupted in cheers, the Aethorians' natural empathic abilities amplifying the wave of hope and excitement that swept through the crowd. But even as they celebrated, Zara felt a tickle of unease at the back of her mind. She turned to see Vex and Zira fluttering agitatedly, their wings pulsing with urgent patterns of bioluminescence. "What is it?" she asked, reaching out to soothe the agitated creatures. Lyria's expression grew serious as she interpreted their empathic signals. They sensed something wrong, a disturbance in the cosmic balance. Before they could investigate further, a shimmering portal tore open in the center of the plaza. From it emerged a figure that made Zara's blood run cold, the Void Reaver captain, but transformed. His cybernetic implants had grown to cover most of his body, pulsing with a sickly mixture of purple energy and the golden light of the cosmic seed. "Did you really think you could destroy us so easily?" The captain's voice boomed, distorted and inhuman. "We are the void, the entropy that balances creation, and now we have evolved." With a gesture, he sent a wave of corrupted energy sweeping across the plaza. Aethorians cried out in pain as the sickness that had once plagued their world began to spread once more, this time resistant to the cosmic seed's power. Zara and Lyria sprang into action, their movements perfectly synchronized after months of fighting side by side. Zara raised a shield of pure energy, protecting the crowd, while Lyria channeled the seed's power into a beam of golden light that struck the Void Reaver captain square in the chest. But the corrupted being only laughed, absorbing the energy and growing stronger. "Your pitiful seed is no match for the power of the void," he crowed. "We will consume all of creation, starting with this miserable world." As the situation grew dire, Zara felt a familiar presence brush against her mind. The gardener's voice echoed in her thoughts, urgent and clear. "The balance is threatened, protectors. The void has found a way to corrupt the very essence of creation. You must evolve as well, to meet this new threat." Zara looked at Lyria, seeing the same determination reflected in her alien features. Without a word, they clasped hands, the cosmic seed pulsing between them. What happened next defied description. Their bodies began to glow, atoms reorganizing themselves into a new form that transcended both human and Ethorian biology. They merged, becoming a being of pure energy, a living embodiment of the cosmic forces they had sworn to protect. The Void Reaver captain stumbled back, his confidence faltering for the first time. What are you?" he demanded. Their voice, when they spoke, was a harmony of Zara's determination and Lyria's otherworldly wisdom. "We are the cosmic guardians, the union of creation and protection. And you, creature of the void, have overstayed your welcome in this realm." They raised their hands, channeling power on a scale that dwarfed anything they had wielded before. The very fabric of reality rippled around them as they tore open a rift in space-time, revealing the swirling chaos of the void beyond. The captain roared in defiance, unleashing a barrage of corrupted energy. But the cosmic guardians stood firm, their combined will an unbreakable shield. With a final titanic effort, they unleashed the full power of the cosmic seed. A wave of pure creation energy washed over the plaza, cleansing the void's corruption and restoring balance to Euphoria once more. The captain screamed as he was drawn inexorably towards the rift, his form unraveling as he was pulled back into the void. "This isn't over," he howled. "The void is eternal. We will return." As the rift sealed itself, the cosmic guardians turned to face the awestruck crowd. Slowly, their merged forms separated, leaving Zara and Lyria standing hand in hand, transformed by their experience, but recognizably themselves once more. The High Elder approached, dropping to one knee in reverence. "Cosmic Guardians," he said, his voice trembling with emotion, "you have saved us all. What would you have us do?" Zara and Lyria exchanged a look, volumes passing between them in that silent moment. Then, as one, they addressed the assembled Ethorians. "The threat of the void remains," Zara began, her voice carrying the weight of their shared vision. "But so does the promise of new life, of healing and growth." Lyria continued seamlessly, "We cannot remain here, basking in Ethoria's rebirth. There are countless worlds out there, crying out for the touch of the cosmic seed." "We propose a great undertaking," Zara said, her eyes blazing with purpose. "A fleet of world ships, carrying the best and brightest of Ethoria to the far corners of the galaxy. We will seek out dying worlds, heal corrupted civilizations, and spread the gift of life wherever we go," Lyria added. "And in doing so, we will build a network of allies strong enough to stand against the void when it inevitably returns." The plaza erupted in cheers once more, the Aethorians' natural empathic abilities amplifying the wave of hope and determination that swept through the crowd. As the sun set on this new chapter in Aethoria's history, Zara and Lyria stood on a balcony overlooking the transformed world. Vex and Zira fluttered nearby, their wings pulsing with contentment. "Are you ready for this?" Zara asked softly, turning to her partner. "To leave your home behind once more, to face unknown dangers among the stars." Lyria smiled, her three eyes shimmering with love and excitement. "My home is wherever you are," she said, pulling Zara close. "And the greatest adventure of all is the one we'll share together." As they sealed their commitment with a kiss, the first stars of evening began to twinkle in the Ethorian sky. Each point of light represented a world waiting to be explored, a civilization in need of hope, a new chapter in the grand cosmic story they were destined to write. The cosmic guardians, one born of Earth and one of Ethoria, gazed out at the infinite possibilities stretching before them. Whatever challenges lay ahead, whatever wonders awaited discovery, they would face it all together, two hearts beating as one, united in their quest to nurture the seeds of a brighter tomorrow across the vast canvas of the universe.